This is a journey back to love, which we will kind of go into Cass's journey. By the way, this is Cass, my best friend.
Hello.
We will dive into her journey and where she was most of her life, what she experienced, what she's been through, the beliefs and emotions and thoughts that it embedded into you, and then what helped you heal from those things and what helped you release them, and where you are now and everything in between. We'll start off by just tapping into like where you at right now in life, and then we'll backtrack and we'll start there.
Okay, perfect. Ooh, what a big question. Where am I at now? The theme of this year for me has been radical acceptance. I feel like my whole life I've been trying to control situations or fight things that happen to me, try and control outcomes, and that really trapped me and made my life a little bit miserable unnecessarily. And so now I'm trying to focus on just taking things as they come and reacting to situations simply and fully accepting whatever situation I'm in, whether it be painful or blissful. I'm trying to have just a welcoming outlook on everything that life tries to give to me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love that. So based on that, we'll take radical acceptance and let's play that back into you growing up.
Okay.
Where in life were you at that you felt like you weren't accepting things, that life was just coming at you and you were resisting it? And what did that look like?
I think it goes way back to like cultural conformities of just people telling you that life is what it is and it's not very great. Like I always just thought that I was kind of captive by the life that I fell into, like, and that I didn't have like a choice or control over changing it. And so that gave me a lot of anxiety as a kid, just thinking, oh, I'm kind of trapped in this and this is the way things are. And it freaks me out. I had really anxious parents who, you know, had their own journeys in their childhood that led them to be anxious. It kind of runs in my family. And I think I thought that controlling things or trying to change outcomes would bring me peace and help me overcome my anxiety, but it made it so much worse. And so I got the situation I was put in, which I viewed as not very good, and then I would make it worse by trying to change it or control it in a way.
What were some larger experiences or examples of you trying to control things in your childhood or teenage years or even young adult life where it just completely backfired and started to kind of shed light on the fact that you can't control things?
I think it was mostly evident in my failed relationships. Like I had a really hard time keeping and maintaining friendships, and I think it was due to my need to control and also my fear of change. My fear of change kind of made me so stagnant that my friends would kind of, be in my life for a little bit, but then they'd be on their growth journey and I would just kind of stay stuck because of fear. So I think somehow losing friends and feeling like something was off, it made me kind of reflect on those qualities of trying to control things. Losing friendships, I think,
did that
hit me in the face real hard.
Obviously, because I know you and we've talked before, but what beliefs did that kind of instill in you watching friendships leave? Because for me, I experience that all the time of friendships leaving out the door, and I would immediately be like, oh, dude, it's my fault. I'm just like a little too weird, or I'm not a good friend, or I would just block them out, and I'd be too anxious to let them in and keep them close.
Ooh. Yeah, it kind of instilled in me this belief that I wasn't worthy, or there was something wrong with me, or I just felt really like an alien to the world, and I just wanted to fit in so bad. And I always felt I kind of had my own mind growing up and felt very different from my siblings and my parents. So already I think even before losing friendships in my teenage years and in my young adult life, I think I already had that little whisper of that insecurity from way back when, of just feeling a little bit alienated or out of place. And yeah, it made me feel just unworthy and a little misfit.
So people know, when did things start to truly shift for you? Like what was the defining moment of, say, your awakening process where you genuinely were like, oh, I can change, or I'm going to change. Ooh. And life can look different. And I'm actually, even though there's, some fear maybe, I'm kind of excited to see what life can change into.
Thank you for that question. It's such a good question. You were actually part of this because we met right around this big shift in my life. I think I was 18 or 19. And I got to a point in my life, I had moved to Utah from Michigan and didn't really know anybody. So that feeling of like being alone really magnified my insecurities of not feeling like I belonged and feeling alienated from just like friendships and the world. And so I kind of fell into a depression in my early adult life once I moved here, and just felt really out of place. I started drinking and trying drugs, and I was just kind of experiencing a lost night of the soul. I had to kind of question my entire belief system down to its root, like down to the deepest roots of my belief systems. And I think it's so interesting how being isolated and depressed can almost force a new start. It makes you question so much, because to me, my depression was telling me, like, it was a message saying something's wrong. Like, you're not living in alignment with the path you're meant to be on. And that's somehow I was blessed enough to receive that message in my dark times. And I think I just got really sick of being low all the time. And so I completely deconstructed my entire belief systems. As you know, I grew up religious, and I had to ask myself, do I even believe in God? What do I believe in? And I started kind of at square one. And even though that was the most frightening thing to me, to face the feeling of what is known to me. I don't actually know anything. And my whole life I was taught that knowing things would bring me comfort. But I didn't even know who I was. Yeah, I got to start reshaping my belief systems, and through that came this like self-empowerment, like, oh, I can actually shape and create my entire outlook on life and on myself. But I couldn't have done it alone. Like, I needed to meet people like you who came into my life and looked at me with so much unconditional love. And then I kind of got to see myself through your eyes and through a few others' eyes that were so incredibly loving and accepting. And I thought, oh, maybe I could look at myself that way. Like, even in the midst of all of this unknown and this instability and this deconstructing and reconstructing, I can do it with love and acceptance. And I'm still practicing that every single day. It was really hard then. It's getting easier now, but I think it'll be a life practice of mine to just practice acceptance, because I still fall into the habit of fear and trying to control things and make sense of things. Yeah.
Yeah. So to tap back into your lost years, it's funny because when I met you, nothing's changed the way I viewed you. I always viewed you that way. I always was like, this girl is a literal angel, and you had so much love and you had so much light within you that I knew that obviously neither of us knew how to really like access that within each other. And I couldn't even verbalize how I saw you. And so it felt like, oh man, like if only Cass could see the way I see her. But because I was so blocked, I was like, how's she supposed to see herself through my eyes if I can't even speak? And so when we reconnected and we both started to find our voice, I found it so exhilarating being able to finally tell you the way I've always viewed you, which is in the most beautiful light. Seeing you change has been probably the most magical thing, because I knew you 9 years ago. Obviously, we weren't super close at times, but I've seen you through a lot, and I feel like I've been by your side the entire time, energetically, spiritually, emotionally, all the above. One, to just see who you've become is magical. It just speaks to the level of change and growth one can go through, and quite quickly. Like I feel like we both mirrored each other, but you grew so fast. The moment I came back into your life, I was like, oh, Cass is going to just blossom like none other, and I'm here for it. And so I kind of want to tap back to the beliefs that you started to shed about yourself, just so people can get a good picture about, like, how did Cass truly see herself, and when did those beliefs start getting shed? What helped her shed them?
Honestly, moving my body like helped shed a lot of things. Just learning how to live more in the body than in my head. That's kind of, I think, a curse that the whole world shares right now, but especially my family. Like, when you're in your head and you don't know how to get out, you just need to move, and things just become a little bit more simple, and you learn to accept yourself a little more, and the endorphins come in, and I think you have, it just is a magic process to help you view yourself a little lighter. So I think movement actually was a huge shift for me. I got into weightlifting around 20, just exploring new things. Every time I explore something new, it faces me with that fear again of, oh my gosh, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I have to start at the bottom of the barrel. I'm going to be judged. But it's kind of like a practice to get through those things and find that self-fulfillment, and just in accomplishing something new and knowing that you're capable of going through the fear. I think just honestly, invitations from good people to go do new things and just be around good energy. I learned to say yes. I made it a practice to just say yes to doing things with good people, and that helped me gain so much confidence, just saying yes and practicing getting over the fear of saying yes to things and getting myself out there. I also was really drawn to psychedelic therapy for many, many years. I think I remember sitting in my apartment in college one day, and I told my friend, I need to do this one day, but I'm not ready yet. And then 3 years later, I got the opportunity. It just felt really right, this opportunity to sit.
What plant medicine?
Mushrooms, psilocybin.
And so what was your intention going into that experience? What were you expecting? What did you think it was going to be like? Why were you truly taking it? Were you taking it because you were wanting to change and you were just like, okay, this represents change for me?
I think it was, I still felt in my normal day-to-day life, all these blocks come up, and I had an intuition. I knew that sitting with psilocybin would help me overcome some of those blocks. And it's really interesting whether you feel pulled to this plant medicine or not. I feel like your spirit always knows what's mostly in alignment for you. And for me, it was like this big magnetic pull. I didn't know how to avoid it. Like, I had a knowing that it was meant for me. Yeah, it's a very magical feeling, that pull. And I was so afraid of it. I knew that it would change me. I had a feeling that it would. And I knew that it would bring me closer to my authentic self, like my unconditioned, authentic self. And I was afraid to become her because as a young kid, it goes back to those moments when I was my most authentic self. I felt alienated. I felt like I wasn't fitting in and I wasn't being accepted, or I was being loved for the specific roles that I played or the conditioned personality traits that I was told to have.
Did you remember any of the beautiful aspects of your authentic self? Like times in your childhood where you're like, yeah, life is just so beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's another thing psychedelics connected me to, was that pure, authentic Cass that I was tapped into as a little kid. And she was like my family, we talk about it all the time, looking back into our past, and they have some traumatic memories from our childhood, but I don't have the same memories, and it's because I was protected by my authenticity and by my brain. Like, how I saw the world was so beautiful, and it almost protected me from seeing things in a negative lens that could
Beautiful.
really hurt myself. Yeah. So I had this beautiful connection to nature. Like I remember singing to nature all the time and like telling the flower that I was sorry for it when I when I plucked it. Like I was just very connected. Like I think I believed, and I didn't know how to articulate it then, but I just believed that all things could speak and that they were alive and conscious, and it made me like deeply respect and love the planet and people. And I kind of, just through conditioning, lost the essence of that Cass, but it really helped to have people who could see that part in me still alive, even though I thought she had died off in my young adult years. But yeah, she did feel very misunderstood at times, and that's something I was really frightened about. Even though she was living in this beautiful headspace and this beautiful life, and she saw things as so beautiful, I was really afraid to reconnect with that pure essence of me that I had as a kid, just because I feared being alienated again. I just wanted to be accepted so bad.
When did you feel like you realized that you were stepping into your authentic self and you were being accepted by people? Because there are people that didn't accept you and still continue to might misunderstand you, whether old friends, family members, whoever it may be. But where was the shift for you where you're like, I'm going to continue stepping into my authentic self regardless, because there are people out there that will love me and accept me for who I am?
That's such a good question. I think it was the people that I respected the most, that I felt the most loved by. They were the ones that accepted me when I was more authentic. And then I felt more rejected by the people that I didn't really respect or want to be like when I was more authentic. So that kind of naturally shifted me by giving me permission. And those little micro, you know, like when you go throughout your day, there's so many little micro actions that happen and a lot of energy transference between you and another person. It was like in those little subtle messages of, oh, like that felt like me. How was it received by the people that you were around? And like those moments when I feel like how I speak and how I carry myself is so in alignment with my true self. It was really interesting to note how it was received by different people. And then it also gave me the courage to let people go who don't accept that part. Yeah. And then I just get to be around people who do accept it, which is so amazing. And I also love standing as a trigger to people who don't understand me. I think that's actually a huge benefit to this world, is to be so authentic that you're understood, but you're also misunderstood. I think that means you're doing something right. I
mean, I don't think anyone could ever be understood by everyone. I mean, you look at like Christ, for example, someone who seemed like, all right, he's just living his life with love, and yet so many people misunderstood him. And you could treat people with kindness and they're still going to misunderstand you.
Absolutely.
You're going to show up for them and they're still going to misunderstand you. And at the end of the day, our goal as humans is not to get understood by everyone or be understood by everyone. If anything, it's I want to try and understand people and just accept them for where they're at. And all I could hope for is the same from others. But as we know, that's not always possible. But I am curious. So the people that started to understand you, how would you describe the type of people they are compared to the type of people that you used to surround yourself with in the past that were maybe a little more unconscious, or they wanted the inauthentic Cass because she was more, malleable and easy to be around?
I feel like I have this firm belief that the people around me are reflections of myself. And so I feel like back then, the people who were around me who didn't accept me and were a little less conscious, like that was just reflecting those parts in me that were a little less conscious, and they would misunderstand me. I've been very loved the entire time, I think. I think it's just people meet you where you're at.
Yeah.
So that's been interesting to watch that unfold. But it's weird. I see the relationships in my life as if like every little introduction has been handcrafted by God and like pinpointed to an exact time in my life that I needed it. So I feel like the more I'm growing into my authentic self, the more just angels as humans are just flooding into my life, and it's very guiding and directing, and it's just leading me forward. I don't really have to put much effort into it anymore.
Which is beautiful, because I mean, even in that perspective, angels show up in ways that you don't think they show up in.
Yep.
In triggers, like people that trigger me, I think are sometimes the biggest angels, because they just shed light on something within me that I didn't see, and I'm like, if you wouldn't have come into my life and you wouldn't have triggered me or hurt me, I wouldn't have seen that, and I wouldn't be able to move forward with my life, because that block is holding me back in a lot of regards, whether it's from having a healthy relationship or being a good friend or eating healthy. Like I want angels to show up in every single way, and that perspective is just, it's beautiful to me. I think everyone should have it. Obviously you can't force perspective onto people, but just the perspective that everything is meant for you. It's all like handcrafted forecasts, yet all things that happen to me are handcrafted for me too.
Yes. And that applies to all things, because my whole life I thought, oh, like the angels come in the form of light and bliss and all these positive things. But it's like, no, like there are dark angels too that are there to trigger you and bring you into the awareness of your subconscious and of the dark elements within you, and those are just as necessary. So that's been helpful too, like just seeing that, like even in my darkest times in my life, that was guided. Yeah. Like I was meant to go there, and seeing life that way, just like all of it is meant for me, has helped me so much.
Yeah. So all those things, those triggers and those people that came into your life, and even blocks in your life, how would you say that resisting those blocks affected you? And then I want you to shed your perspective on, once you actually faced that and stopped resisting, what actually happened. Because I know a lot of people, you know, they have blocks, they resist them thinking that that is like the best thing to do. Mm-hmm. It's the safest thing to do. It's not very good on the other side of resistance, but I just want people to know that, you know, the moment you let go, the moment you surrender, actually becomes a very powerful tool of healing in your life. But, you know, people don't quite see that. And it's hard to see that. So
yeah, I think the biggest healing breakthroughs that humanity can make are within the deepest depths of whatever the trigger is that you're trying to avoid. At least for me and for my tribe, it seems like if there's something you're resisting, it just, like if you try and resist it actively, it'll just build up over time and really eat you alive. Whereas if you just face it and fully feel every little part of that depth, whatever it is you're trying to avoid, you instantly become free of it. But it does hurt. It's not like facing it is just easy. Yeah. It hurts so bad. I think that would make the world a much better place if we used the triggers and all the things we avoid as little messengers from spirit saying, no, actually, this is what you need to look at. This is where you need to go. Yeah. If we followed that path instead of the sunshine and daisies path, I think the world would be a better place. I actually think the world is suffering so much right now, especially mentally, because we follow the sunshine and daisies path and try and avoid the dark and the triggers and all of that stuff. I think that's why we're suffering. And, you know, growing up, and most people would probably think like, oh, I just want to live a comfortable life or an avoidant life. But I think that leads directly to the death of the spirit. Yeah. And you can't avoid it. Yeah. It is unavoidable. It happens to everyone. It is life. To that point, I mean, I want to share an example because it's our story. But the when we first met, the pull to you was magnetic for me. I was like, oh my gosh, this girl is wonderful. You were genuinely the first person that
I'd ever met that I was like, wow, I just feel like unconditional love from her. And I feel like she knows how to show up for me in all the ways that I've always wanted it. And the pull to you, I confused as, oh, well, I need to date this woman. And every time that I tried to get to the point of dating you, I felt so much resistance. And I was like, no, I gotta fight it. I gotta fight it. Like, I'm supposed to like date the person that I feel a pull to. That's what I've been taught. That's what I've seen in movies. I don't quite understand otherwise. I kind of watched it taint our relationship, and we had a very pure connection. It just felt like two little kids that genuinely loved each other and just wanted to be there for each other. And I watched myself like hurt you over and over and over because I was just resisting. I was resisting the most obvious thing. And we obviously distanced for a long time while we both went on our own paths. You jumped in a relationship, I jumped in a relationship. And when we came back into each other's lives, we were both going through an awakening of realizing that like life could be so different. And I felt the pull again, but immediately was like, I know where trying to take this pull goes. I'm going to stop resisting and just let the pull take it where it needs to go. And watching our relationship turn into what feels like brother and sister energy has been the most beautiful thing. And I never would have imagined it. Truly, I always thought I knew what was best. I could always see what was coming. And, you know, to people out there that are trying to force things, I at least want me and you to be an example of like, hey, sometimes it's not what you think it's going to be. Just let it be what it needs to be. Surrender to that. And it can be really beautiful, because I would much rather have you in my life as a sister than as a partner. Like, we're so different in all the best ways. And I'm so grateful to have a sister like you, genuinely. So resistance is just such a block for people, because it's so scary on the other side. Like, if I resist or if I let go, I don't know what happens. I don't know where the river takes me if I stop fighting upstream. And me and you both know, especially in our relationship, that everything good happens the moment you let go. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know, I just always want to impart some wisdom for people just through life experience of like, hey, we've been through this, we experienced it. People might be able to look at us and be like, well, you know, maybe they're still in love or this or that. And I'm like, no, guys, we're not. We're genuinely just love each other as people. And it's so beautiful. And I wish everyone could transform potential relationships, like romantic relationships that didn't quite work out because they're not supposed to, and maybe watch a friendship just blossom out of it. And so I want to thank you for also letting go and not resisting anymore, and allowing this relationship to turn into what it has meant to become, because it's healed me more than pretty much any relationship in my entire life. And you've taught me so much, and you've showed me what unconditional love is. Truly, you were the first person to show me unconditional love. And coming out of my little awakening process and going through a rough relationship, and then reconnecting with you and just having you accept me in my fullness, just for who I was. It's like I can be my goofy self. Back then, I used dark humor to, maybe run from some things, and even you accepted that. It's like, I know who Josh is. All these other things are just things that he's experiencing, and I just want to love him regardless. And so I just want our friendship to be an example to people of how things can be.
And it is. It's so interesting how much I'm questioned about our friendship. And I'm so proud of that, because I think it is almost a statement to the world of what loving relationships should look like, whether they're romantic or not. I just remembered going through, being in and out of each other's lives and trying to see if there was a romantic vibe there, and there wasn't. Kind of practicing that acceptance with you of wait, this can actually be something that we might not know.
Yeah.
But letting it unfold naturally and organically, even though there was some resistance there and some questions. And, I think it really triggered our beliefs of what a relationship should look like
Yes.
or what attraction should look like. And we were both very much in our heads in our young 20s and tried to, and I think the world does this naturally, especially with relationships, but you try and conceptualize every emotion and every pull and make sense of it. But the conceptualization is so small compared to the energy shared. And I just knew that every time you left my life, it just felt so wrong.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to keep you in it. I'm so grateful for the connection that we share. I feel like I've definitely met you in another life. Like you were meant to be in my life and guide me and through these transitions in my life, in my 20s, and hopefully for the rest of my life. I would love to see the world kind of transforming in relationship to how they go about forming connections. I have just absolutely needed a kind of a life partner, like as a friend, who's paralleled me in this path. Like I've needed to grow with someone in this way at a similar pace. Like you and I both started growing really fast since we met.
Kind of crazy.
And to have someone who's my same age, like has very similar views to me, but also very different ones. Like you've been someone that I have been collaborating with for the last decade, and I grow with you. Like I grow with you, I heal with you. Like you create opportunities for me all the time for growth and healing, and I will just never let that go. I won't do it. No. And I hope the world can get a chance at something similar. Like I think people have all kinds of beautiful bonds, but it's always detrimental to me to see people have love and maybe the romance isn't supposed to be there, but they force it. And then it comes at the cost of the entire relationship, and they don't get to reap the benefits of all other aspects of the relationship. Yeah. Like they're just cut off. And I think we were talking about this before, but I think attraction is like a full spectrum, and romantic attraction is just a tiny little part of that. And I love exploring attraction without expectation anymore. Like just seeing it as, okay, there's this pull here. And to me, that pull is so spiritual. It means there's something in you that's meant for me. Yeah. And maybe something in me that's meant for you. And it doesn't have to be babies or like...
Yeah, it doesn't mean we need to spend our entire lives together.
Yeah, no. And in fact, like you don't have to make sense of it or conceptualize it any step of the way. Like maybe in retrospect, we can look back and be like, oh, that's you've been. That's what it was. But in the moment, like I love just watching this unfold and being able to witness you grow through life at a similar pace that I'm growing through life. It's very special. It's such an honor. Yeah,
because I feel like the expectation, the thing that we did when we reconnected was we removed those expectations. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, oh, it needs to look this way, we need to do certain things. It's just, I love Cass's presence, and as long as I'm in her presence, then I feel like that pull is being fulfilled.
Yes.
And obviously the lessons you've taught me since following that pull and letting it be what it is have been massive. It's changed my perspective on relationship, friendship, love, and the amount of friendships I've had now with girls that I was romantic with is beautiful, because now I can keep them as friends because you showed me like, hey, it doesn't always have to be like cut and dry. If they're in your life, it's romantic, or they're not allowed in your life. It's like, why can't I have them in my life as a friend? As long as we both have no expectations and we're staying true to that, then you can't give me a reason why I wouldn't want you in my life. And in dating, the coolest part was that it weeded out very insecure people.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially when we lived together. You know, if a girl came over or I went on a date, it's like, hey, just so you know, Cass is my best friend and we tried to date and we have a beautiful relationship. So if you're secure in yourself and you trust me, which every relationship should be built on trust, then we're going to have no problem. But if you don't trust me, then I can't convince you otherwise. I'm just going to continue to be me. Cass is going to continue to be her. And watching that help my relationships, it just has led me to so much love. And so, yeah, just so grateful.
Beautiful.
So grateful.
Yeah.
And I want to shift gears a little bit. How much time do we have?
We have 40 minutes.
40 minutes left? Shit, how long are podcasts?
Well, you've been recording for almost 45 minutes. Well, oh yeah, so I guess, sorry.
An hour and a half?
You have 30 minutes left. 20 minutes. You have 25 minutes left.
Are they an hour and...
Sorry.
Are they an hour and 15?
An hour, but they go to an hour 15.
Okay.
Oh, and then you can cut things out and stuff.
Okay, cool. Cool,
Because there
cool,
will
cool.
be little moments cut out.
And this won't be cut out?
This will be in.
Why wouldn't it be?
Why not?
Mic me up.
They're like, who are you talking to? I'm like, God, is that you?
Yeah.
Sorry, God is speaking to me right now.
Yeah, all the
Telling
time.
me
all
I
the
have
time, man, of course.
Podcast God.
25 minutes left on this podcast.
Producer God.
I wanted to shift to more things along the lines of like your perspective of the world and where it's at and what you feel like the world needs more than ever right now.
Ooh. I feel like, I think Timothy Chalamet said this. I'll give him credit for this, but he said something like, the world is coming from you, not at you. And I believe that so strong now in my life. I feel like there's some kind of force out there that's trying to take away our power by telling us that we're weak or that we'd have no control or that we don't have power to change and create life all around us all the time. And it's so false. I feel like every thought and action and energy that we put out into the world actually creates it as it is.
Yeah.
And I challenge everyone to play with that a little bit, because every time I actually practice that and believe it, it is so powerful how evident that can become. And my psychedelic journeys definitely made that extra evident. Like, they show you just the power of the human. Like, you are innately powerful.
Yeah, we're the most powerful beings on this planet, and to think that anything can just take our power away, like, we've been convinced that our power's gone and that we don't have any, but in reality, it's always been there.
Yes.
It's just remembering.
Yes. And I think, honestly, like, the depths of my depression and probably a lot of people in this world who are struggling with that right now, I think it's that belief that you are powerless. I think that's really what it comes down to. And then you look around at the reality around you that's actually projected from your belief that reality is horrific, which isn't your fault. Like, that's been placed on you. And there's just this overwhelming feeling of dread and helplessness that comes with that. And it's just awful. But you have the power. Like, you have all of the power, actually. And don't be fooled when anyone or any force or even your own thoughts try and convince you otherwise. So that's how I view life right now, is just, I'm trying to practice remembering that I'm powerful.
What helps you remember the most? Like, when do you feel most in your power?
Probably in nature, or just in silence or solitude, or like around energies that allow me to practice inner solitude. Like, those friends that, like yourself, who you can kind of be in your own headspace around. Like, that is just very supporting and kind of helps me. I think we all have this wisdom somewhere within that shows us how powerful we are. Like, we have a connection, and all the distractions in the world just try and rid us of that knowing.
Yeah.
So when I'm just undistracted, so in nature or in presence, I feel like it comes up for me really strong.
Do you feel like, first off, I love that. Nature, it reminds you that nature is powerful, this earth is powerful, and you are ultimately connected to it, and you are a part of it just as much as every tree and bush and blade of grass. How do you feel like being seen as powerful and beautiful and abundant from other people? How do you feel like it shifted you? Because for me, that was the game changer. People seeing me and being like, dude, no, you've got this. Like, of course I believe in you. Even if at times I didn't give them much to believe in, there were a few people in my life, and my buddy Alec, if you somehow watch this, I love you, brother. I haven't seen you in a while. He had that superpower of just seeing people for who they were and letting them know that he saw them. And I remember we would go to like gas stations, and the gas station attendant, which everyone knows they're working at a gas station. They're probably not super happy. They're probably not in the best mood. And every time without fail, Alec would leave that gas station and they would be laughing their ass off just with the biggest smile. Like, finally someone sees me and just loves me for me. And so watching him do that to others and then do it to me, I realized how powerful it was. And I was like, oh, can I do this for people? I was like, I feel like I see people for who they are, but I would just never like say anything. I wouldn't do anything about it. And for me, all I want to do is make people feel sane, because I do see everyone and I'm like, dude, you are so powerful. Like, if you told me you were trying to start a farm or a tech company or something, I would be like, dude, yeah, of course you're going to do it. Like, why wouldn't you be able to do it? And I think people believing in each other and seeing each other for the powerful beings that they are is probably the best thing that could happen to this world.
Absolutely. I think you can evoke people's awareness of God within themselves by confronting it and bringing it out in them through showing them how they're seeing through your eyes. Yeah. That was a long way to say that, but hopefully that makes sense. But that's what you did for me at 19. Like you seeing that spirit in me, that power in me, that love in me that I couldn't see. It literally was the spark that helped it develop. It helped me uncover what was really already there. I just couldn't see it. And so, yeah, I think that supportive view, like seeing yourself through the eyes of others, is incredibly supportive and can help completely change the world. I need to practice that as well, just like point it out to people, because you always assume people see it, like they see their own worth and their own power, and it's just not true. No. Like they're just walking around blind like everybody else. And just saying it, noticing it and pointing it out is so powerful. It just spreads the power. Yeah, because you don't get it in day-to-day society. Even yesterday, I had like 2 experiences in the last few days. This guy Joe at Whole Foods, his name was Joe. I was observing him. I was behind the person in line. And he was just so positive and like energetic. And the moment I pull up to the register, he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I met him with the same energy because I was like, yeah, I love this guy. And his face, you could tell he was like, whoa, okay. And we just had this beautiful conversation. I mean, there's an aspect that did break my heart. He's like, yeah, I'm never happy, but I'm always optimistic. Ooh. And I was like, that's a beautiful mindset. I'd love to help you get to a place where you are happy and you have a positive mindset and are optimistic. But even that interaction, when I left it, I could tell it seemed like the first time that day, or even for a while, he had a genuine conversation where someone was like, no, I care about what you're saying. And I just sat there and listened to what he was saying. I was like, dude, I love it. And I agreed with pretty much all of it. And I was like, this guy's great. I wish I could hang out with him. And so instances like that just remind me how ready people are to be seen. Like if you just meet them where they're at and your intention is, I just want
for them to feel seen. That's it. I'm going to just listen. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to be curious, because this is my mindset that I've lived with for the last 5 years, is I might be the first person that makes them feel seen. And if I have that power and I'm aware of that and I'm not using it and I'm not showing up for strangers even, then I'm just doing a disservice to myself and to the world and to people who need love. And so for people out there, one person can't do it. Everyone has to show up. Everyone has to start caring. They have to start being curious about each other. Even if you get triggered, even if someone has differing beliefs, like I'll sit with people that tell me stuff that old me would have been like, no, I disagree with that. Me now, I'm like, dude, I just want to understand you. Even if I don't agree with it, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to shove it in your face and try to be right. This is where you're at. This is what you believe. This is what you're feeling. I just want to try and understand and then have love for you because of that. So I think that's a powerful tool that everyone, you could use.
Absolutely.
And it's a practice that, you just practice.
Yeah.
Go up to a stranger.
I'm trying to practice that one too. It's hard though, because I feel like when I'm in a conversation with somebody, I'm always, because of my old wound, I'm trying to be understood myself, which gets in the way of me just focusing on giving them a space to feel seen and understood. And even if it's a difference in opinion, I'm like, oh, well, I actually have an opinion on that too. And it's really all rooted in ego because of that old insecurity. But that's such a good practice. Oh.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'll practice that. Now you inspired me.
Okay, we're going to wrap up since we don't have much time left. So the way we're going to wrap up, because the podcast is called A Journey Back to Love, I want you to essentially describe the love that you have for yourself, for your body, your quirks, your mindset. Like, tell people really like, no, I love myself because of these things, the things you're really grateful for.
Oh, wow. We should have everybody do this. I think, gosh, that's a big question. I love my willingness to change. I love my courage. I love it so much. I think I earned it because I was not courageous for a long time. I even love, it's weird, I love the parts of myself that even doubt myself and question myself, because they almost open up little windows for me to do better or get creative or try things a different way. I love, my body's capabilities. Like, the more that I'm growing in my mind, the more my body can do really cool things, which is beautiful. And my connection and respect to nature. Like, that's actually one of my favorite qualities that I'm always trying to improve on too. And then I am so proud of the company that I keep. That's like my best quality is my people. Especially you.
I agree. You do keep good company.
Everyone agrees. My people, I feel like, yes, they're my angels, and they came to me just out of pure grace. Like, I don't even know if I deserved them, but I also feel like they reflect who I am, and that I'm really, really proud of. Like, people compliment me on that all the time. Like, you have the best company. Like, you are the most loved woman that I know. And I'm like, yeah, I am. I love me for all of my curses and my blessings. Like, I used to hate like the curses that my family passed down to me and that this world gave me. All my personality quirks, like the darker parts of me. But I love those parts now. I love them so much. The things that like make me misunderstood, I actually love. They're so weird and strange. And they actually bring a lot of magic and mystery into my life. So yeah, I'm grateful for my strange mind and for my ability to adapt and change. Yeah, but especially for my company, my good company. That's probably it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, to wrap up, really wrap up, I guess I'll just share a message for the people on the camera. Letting them know how lovable they are and how there's always a path back to love. You are never too far off the path. You are never unworthy. You are never not deserving, regardless of what you've done. And if everyone could realize that in whole, the world would shift and there would be no wars, there would be no hatred, there would be no things if people just found love for themselves within. And so to everyone out there, I just hope that you will stop resisting and start looking within, start doing the work, face the hard, scary things, because it's always worth it. It's always worth it on the other side the moment you break through, and you will break through.
And we're waiting for you.
We are waiting for you to break through. We want the best for you. We want to see you in love with life, in love with yourself, in love with a partner. We want to see you thriving. And so I just want to send love to everyone out there. And yeah, I love you guys.
We love you.